Hello, my name's Katie and welcome to my shed. If you're new here, this is where I create and where I spend most of my downtime. And last year was my first ever year on YouTube, and I was using it to hold myself to account and make myself create more often. And it definitely did that. And there were some outcomes that I was not expecting from doing it. If you're interested in that and you want to know more, go back and watch the previous video. I've done it on 2 videos just because otherwise they go on too long and nobody wants to be watching me for that long. So I've broken it into 2 videos. So this video is about my intentions for the channel and my goals for 2026. I can't believe we're in 2026. That's bonkers, isn't it? Yeah. So let's talk goals. Okay, so let's talk goals. So last year, I think I was very vague. I just knew I wanted to start the channel. I was aiming for 100 subscribers and I just wanted to use it to document my journey and see where it took me. Not very far is the answer, but I feel like this year I need my goals to be much more intentional, sort of taking what I learned from last year. So I think the first question I wanted to ask myself is, if art was my full-time job, what would that look like? Like, what would my week look like? Because that will help me to reach my goals, just sort of visualizing it. And for me, one of the things that we hadn't discussed at all last year was the art workshops, because we didn't start that till later in the year. And for me, I love doing them. It's made me explore techniques a lot more, but also it's just brought an energy back into my life and into creating. I do teach as part of my paid job, and that's always been something that I've really enjoyed. You know, someone learning a skill and maybe feeling like they can't do something, but by the time you've gone through it with them and taught them, they feel like, oh wow, yeah, I can definitely do that. And I've always loved that. So I've gone off on a tangent already, and we've only just started the video. So yes, we were talking about what my life would look like if, okay. So yes, workshops would definitely be in there. I want to be able to sell some of the stuff that I'm creating, because otherwise it feels like I'm just gaining more and more stuff that I like. I can't put it all up in my house, so I do need to sell some of it. So that would definitely be part of it. And I really like doing this creating. I love chatting to you, i.e. myself, on here. So I think they're the 3 things that I would probably want for my days to look like. One of the things I talked about years and years ago was about doing some children's illustration, and that kind of went off the back boil. Have I made that term up? That went off the boil. That's something I'd quite like to think about, but maybe that'll be a 2027 thing. So, because it's not on my list this year. Right, let's talk what's on the list. I need to do it quick because it's cold. Okay, we'll talk obvious ones. We'll talk about the channel. So my goal last year was 100 subscribers, and at the time of filming this, I'm at 371. So massively higher than I had aimed for. I do think I said 100, but you know, in your head you think, oh, but it might be more. And I think I thought it would grow quicker than it has. It has taken a lot of work, a lot of me showing up and putting out regular videos and content to get to there. That being said, next year I'm aiming higher, and I am aiming for 1,000. I feel like I'm nearly at 400, so 1,000 doesn't seem too far off, but I do know it's quite hard to get there. So that's my first milestone, I think, that we want to talk about. Interestingly, I was looking at my data on YouTube. I don't do that a lot, but I was doing that this morning, and it said that 61% of you who watch my videos are not subscribed. So if you guys could subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything, and you know, you don't even have to watch the videos. Please watch the videos. But that would automatically bump me up by another couple of hundred probably. So that would be great. This is much more of a goal. I've talked about it a lot on my in my most recent videos, but I have got a lot of books. They're over in that corner, you can't see them, but I've got a lot of art books. And I keep buying more art books. Do I ever read them? No, I do not. So one of the goals I am going to set myself is to read one of my books each month. So I'm going to start with this one because it's been sat around for the last couple of weeks, stroke months, and I've been doing sketches from it, but I haven't read it. So that's going to be my January one. And then my next one is going to be this one, which is the Watercolour Flower Bible. I think that's going to help me with my watercolour stuff, obviously, but I do love doing florals and I like doing sketches, and this one is step by step, like different flowers, so it feels manageable, and then we'll work our way through the books. But yeah, so goal number 1, read a book a month. So kind of in with that is I want to know a bit more about colour theory. I'm really bad at it. I've got colour wheels, I've learnt it before, it just doesn't stick in my head. And so because of that, I find that I'm drawn to a lot of sort of convenience colours when I'm painting. And I may well stick with that because if you haven't watched before, I'm quite lazy. I will always take the easy option. And I think some of that is just because I'm doing a lot, and sometimes you've got to take the easy option and be kind to yourself. But that being said, I want to know a bit more about colour theory. So I'm hoping by reading some of these books, that's going to tick that box. I also want to learn a bit more about doing watercolours, because this time last year, hadn't ever done watercolours, and now I really enjoy doing it, but I am just chucking paint on paper. Don't really know what I'm doing. So I think reading the books will help me with those two sort of side quests. Right, what's my next one? Does that make that 3, or is that just 1 with 2 side quests? Got to be realistic. Anyway, let's keep talking and then I'll make a decision. Next one is I want to do daily practice. So I'm going to take a sketchbook into the house with a fine liner and I'm going to draw something. Probably doing continual line drawing or that sort of thing. And just draw something a day. Because one of the things I've really noticed, because I pulled out all of the stuff, all of my paintings, everything I've created this year, and I've done so much this year, but also my technique has got better. You might watch my videos and think, God, how bad were you to start with? Pretty bad. So it has definitely got better. So I really want to do some daily practice, not do masterpieces, just sketching. The other ones are about getting more comments and engagement on my videos, because I don't get a lot of comments, but equally I don't ask people questions to try and get comments, so I need to get better at that. So if you could comment below what your goals and aims are, that would be great. So yeah, I just need to come up with some techniques to get better engagement. Okay, so then goal number 4 is actually about content that I'm creating and putting out for you guys. So I have decided I am going to do 1 live a month. So I really enjoyed the one I did on Boxing Day. It was a bit of a hot mess, but the only way to get better is to practice, right? So I'm going to do 1 a month of a live. I'm going to put out 1 short form video a week and 1 long form video a week, which I think is much more achievable. At the start of last year I started doing 2 videos a week, and it kind of broke me. I think 1 is much more achievable, and then a short. And then I've written here purpose, but don't worry about content. So that's, I think it's more of a talk to myself, that I just want to be a little bit more purposeful with what I'm putting out, but that doesn't mean that I need to come up with something new every video, because I think I did that a bit last year, and because of that I just sort of it was a bit hectic and I couldn't really grow things in the way I wanted to. That being said, it really helped me with some different outcomes. Dear, try not to die. So it did help me with some other outcomes that I wasn't expecting, but I do want to be a little bit more purposeful. Where I've said don't worry about content, that's more about me saying don't worry about thinking I've got to be something new every week. So that's what that means. And the other one is about the Three Birds Art, which is my business with Louise, where we run our workshops, and just want us to continue to grow that one. We haven't made any profit this year, but we didn't make any loss, so that is a result, I think, for a new business. So we just, for me, I want to learn more about running a business because I've really been relying on Lou for that. So that's sort of like another side quest, I guess. And that's it. That doesn't seem like a lot, does it? I lied. There was one more hiding at the bottom of my list. State of it, which was get out and paint. So I did a couple of videos when I was out painting and I felt really awkward and embarrassed. But there's something in my brain that's just switched and I kind of don't feel that way anymore. I don't know about if I'd be doing a full-blown painting, but going out and sketching, I feel like I'd be okay with that. So I want to get out and paint a bit more. So that's the other one. So let's summarise them because there's not that many. I'm going to count some of them as separate ones where I had put them all together. So one is about increasing my subscription. I like to aim for 1,000. Getting more comments and engagement. So and then the other one is about the frequency that I'm posting. So one live a month, one long a week, and one short a week. So I'm going to put them down together. So those three are all about the channel. And then the ones that are about me is about daily practice, reading a book a month, learning colour theory better maybe, and watercolour theory. Get out and paint. So 5, 6, 7, 8. And then there's the business one, which is about learning more about running a business. That's really not that many. It's 9 things, but some of them are interlinked, aren't they? So anyway, so if you could let me know what your aims are for the year and maybe inspire me a little bit, and if you've got any ideas for how I can achieve it, any good books, any things that you would advise me learning and getting the grips with, then please let me know that in the chat as well. Okay, so have a lovely week. Sorry it was short and sweet, or I'm lucky for you, it's short and sweet. This is like one of those little bonus New Year specials type videos. We will be back next week with some painting. Have a good week and I will see you soon. Bye.